All right, guys. So up the farm. Now I think I showed these before. Obviously, I've made these fabricated floats for the feeders. Now, what had been happening is the rats or whatever that get out onto these were where bits of food items and pellets were getting stuck in here. They were actually eating through these. And they were filling up with water. So I lost one of these. It turned over out in the top lake last year because of it. So that's why I've gone with Bankside feeders. But I want to use this one on the Leney pond to give them just a load. I come up once a day and feed, but once a day feeding is not as efficient as maybe feeding them 6, 7, 8 times a day, but just small amounts and keep trickle feeding in. And with this feeder, I can set that to do, 3 seconds, 8 times a day. Oh, there's a fish just moved over there. Yeah, one's just a little jumpage. They're getting really big in here, actually. I saw them yesterday, and they're really putting some weight on, which is fantastic. But anyway, getting back to this. What I've done is I've just cut this cheap old plastic tubing. I've just cut down the middle, and then I've put it across the top. So I'm hoping that solves my problem. It wasn't quite long enough for that one, but it should do the job, I reckon. Hopefully nothing will be able to sit on here and eat through, and obviously the pellet won't sit on it. It'll just it'll go. So fingers crossed that'll do the job. I hope so anyway. Hi guys. Right. We've got the machine coming in this afternoon, and it's a long weekend over here, so I've got a 6-tonner coming in, which is going to be ample to get all of my French drains done. I've got loads of other banks and stuff to clear, so I thought I'd take advantage of it while I've got it here. So looking forward to a big weekend, getting a load of stuff sorted. I'm going to show you what I'm doing at the moment, which I'm going to tie into and bury in with one of the French drains, and I think this is going to be an absolute little Brucey bonus for my fish rearing in what is effectively the silt trap. It gets, as I said before, I think it gets a tiny amount of water flow in there from the fields, coming out the fields and drainage, but it doesn't get enough. And yes, as Mr. Lipmoden says, the solution to pollution is dilution. So I've got a 32mm irrigation pipe. It's a bloody pain in the arse to actually move and get uncoiled, but you can see it running across here behind me. It's now going down into Fensmere. This will all be buried, and then it's going down the dam wall, and it's going to go into that corner just there, which is where the French drain's going. What that's going to do is deliver through gravity feed through the siphon system fresh water 24/7. And it will improve the ability for me to feed those fish more and grow them bigger quicker, and not have any issues or worries, because obviously the water's coming straight out of Fensmere. So anyway, I'll just show you what I've done, and I think it could be a little bobby dazzle. So look, we're on the dam wall here. We're out of the way of any of where the anglers and stuff will be. I mean, I've got my spare boat here for the anglers. Okay, I've got to go up and fix this end down into the water. Basically what I'm going to do is have a pole put in there, and I'll just zip tie that around the pole so it's a couple of feet under and there's no problem there. Then all of this will be buried, because I'll bury it with the machine. Buried. This is just my line at the moment. I'm just trying to work it out. Get off me, beast. Yeah, I'm just going to run it straight down here. Sorry if this wind's getting on your roof, on your bits and bobs. And then it's going to run straight down here in the ditch there, which will be my French drain, and buff straight into the water. It's going to bring highly oxygenated water from the top layers. Oh, thanks, Clay. Yeah, thanks for coming. It's going to highly oxygenated water coming out of Fensmere from the top sort of 2 foot layer, and give me a massive water flow and turnover in that lake, which is going to be perfect. All right, so now there's my stuff for my French drain and that there as well. So anyway, that's what I'm doing today. Right, success on the siphon. That was great. I'm really happy, really happy with this, because you know, we've got us this 15 by 10, 150 square meters here of water. It's about 4 foot, just over 4 foot deep in the middle. It's full blue clay. So, you know, the capacity of this actually to do a few fish and bring my very special ones on in the same water that they're going to go back into is phenomenal. So there's 25 fish in here at the moment, of which after this coming winter, because they'll be big enough, I will move probably 10 of them out and keep maybe 15. Maybe I'll keep 12 in here, or 10. And then I can bring those fish in here. I'll be able to bring them up to mid-20 in here with no problems whatsoever within another 2 seasons. So they'll be able to go back into Fensmere, you know, as mid to upper 20s in a couple of years. Bloody marvellous, isn't it? Self-sustainability, it's the way forward. It's definitely the way forward. So I'll just show you it running. It's a nice bit of water flow. So there we go. That's what we got. I'll work out the math on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't cause pretty much a full water change every 24 hours with that going in there like that. That's a 32 mil pipe. I'll bury all that over the weekend, so it'll all be out of sight, out of mind. And because it's coming down under pressure, all I need to do is put a cap on this end and stop it. I can go back up there, up to the top, put a cap on that end and stop it and keep it full of water. But what I do have the capacity to potentially do under pressure here is reduce that slightly and get even more oxygenation. But as you can see, you'd be surprised just how much oxygen's going into it just from that little bit of splash. So yeah, really good, really super happy. It'll be increasing that flow going out there. What I will need to do is get a cover on this one, the outflow pipe, just to make sure none of my little kippers decide to jump down there, although they're getting big enough that they won't even be able to get down there soon. So yeah, job done. Very happy with that. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that for a lovely bit of water flow coming into my lakelet. I'll tell you what, quite a bit of oxygen coming in there and all. I'm going to faff about with that and get it out and sort of more into there, but that's going to give this a really good potential to produce some fish, boys. All right, so back down here again. I've just set up my little auto feeder for here. Now this is just it's a pretty cheap little system, this one, but remember that there's only, I've worked out about 8 kilos of fish in here with the 25 fish based upon the weight. I think they are at the moment, probably 12 ounces or so. So, you know, 400 grams, 350, 400 grams, 25 fish at that weight. So I'm, you know, this little feeder here, I've got set for 6 feeds during the day. And it's going to feed, it's actually quite a good little sprayer. I only used it for my little Leney, the little tank last year, but it's actually doing a pretty good job of spraying. And it's you know, what's it got? It's got a little solar panel on the top. You know, pretty simple setup. You know, loaded with little 1 mil pellets. These are, yeah, high protein. They're 42%. So these fish get a really good hit early on. But look, at the moment, I've just done a Heath Robinson. I've just done a little plank with a stone on the back to hold it. But that's spraying right out into here. So it's giving me a good spray. 6 feeds a day for 3 seconds. Is going to give me, I'm actually feeding these much more than I would in a normal environment because there's not a huge amount of natural in here. It's going to give them about it's going to give them about 3% of their mass a day, which is quite a lot, but the water temperature's warm, getting good water flow and oxygen. Water's coming out over the top, look, really nicely, and disappearing there. Oh, sorry. There we go, look, lovely jubbly, got to put a cap on that. So yeah, jobs are gudgeon, life's supreme. Hey, so I'm down the pond this morning, just going to show you the feeder in operation. It's just about to go off for a 10 AM feed. Just came down to check it. Water quality is already better. I mean, these fish were churning up this blue clay bottom and it had quite a lot of coloration to it. With the amount of water going through it now, it's cleared up considerably. I can see fish bubbling down here and they're feeding, which is fantastic. But she's just about to go. I've reduced it to a 2-second feed, and we'll just see how she goes, see what sort of level and amount there is. I'm going to show you what it's all about. Okay, so see, not a huge amount, but that's going 6 times a day. So I reckon that's about on the money, 6 times a day. Perfect. All right, so first French drain's in. It ain't neat because it's too bloody wet. It is what it is. There's so much standing water under this on this clay. So there's the first French drain in. Obviously it just needs gravel in there now. So I put some bigger stones on the bottom and then gravel in it. This area obviously over here and here will need to be reseeded. But that's the first one in, and it's actually working. It's already taking dirty water out. Clay water. Once that's set in and done, then obviously that water will be clear and clean coming into the lake, which is just a trickle, but it's enough. Now this one's a bit more of a baller up this end. The ground is super rock hard, but it's also really low beneath me here. So in theory, really what I need to do is I need a load of backfill to backfill this to bring it up a little bit more, and just over there a little bit more. But I've got it in at the second as it is. It'll still do the job once it's full of gravel. It's coming out down the bottom here, so should still do the job, and hopefully this will make this area a little bit better, get better filtration and a better land drainage, and mean that I can bring the tractor around here instead of having to do it with a hand strimmer. All right, catches. There we go. Gravity fed splash aerator. Look at that. No electric needed. Bloody marvellous. I love it when a plan comes together. You've got such a big fall. I mean, it's such a big fall down here from the water in the actual main lake. So it's fantastic. It's just going to keep going and adding loads of oxygen in there, which is just a bobby dazzler, isn't it? Feeder's working well. French drains are in. Just need some gravel. Let this dry off. Get some gravel in there, and we're all done like Bill Bib DeVoe down here. Lovely jubbly. Let's have a grin bastard. Right, I thought I'd do a little show of the feeder in operation. Very powerful bit of kit. I'm feeding like mad down here. So there you go. There's the spread on. That's on full power at the moment. I've just turned that down, and that's on lower power. So, you know, a really decent bit of kit. Gets a great spread, brilliant bit of pellet getting out there. Just running off a lithium battery here. Okay, let's stop that. Okay, so there you go. Right, now I have had major issues with this controller, but there is a fix coming for that from the supplier. So I'm going to show you that when I get it up here. I've got new batteries coming, and it'll be then set up to go off pretty regularly. Oh, look. Spooked a few fish down that we're feeding. Look at them. Going absolutely garrety. So actually really super impressed with these feeders because they obviously make it so much easier to fill up. They're super safe in terms of rats. They can't get to anything there. And so yeah, I'm really happy with them. You know, once I've got this little, there's a little pusher with a timer on it, which basically activates it, because the timing switches on them are well, I can't work them out, but then I'm a bit of a dumbo anyway. But otherwise, really brilliant bits of kit, and I can highly recommend them. What I'm doing now is I've just reset the main timer on the main feeder. I'm actually going to have, what we're going to have, we're going to have 6 feeds a day going on now in the main lake. Obviously smaller amounts, however. They're going to be set to go from sort of 6, 9, 12, 3, 6 again in the evening. And possibly I'll fit another one in at 9 p.m. Smaller amounts of feed more regularly, hoping that I can, you know, just supercharge their growth rates that little bit more this coming year. Water temperature's high, fish are feeding super well. And I'm expecting to get some mega growth out of these kippers this year from the main lake, and there's some absolute stunners in here. So keep watching, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. It helps us a lot. Thank you very much. And if you've got any questions regarding the feeders or anything like that, just give us a buzz. Cheers. Bye-bye. Another little update here. So I've just refined this. It wasn't going far enough out, so with the sprayer. So I've just made this little system super easy to slide it in, fill it up, slide it back out. Puts it out there and puts it out into a feeding area, which is fantastic. So that's doing the job. I've also just put a a pole that was a bit too up vertical and splashing all, getting everything soaking wet in on the bankside. So I've just given that a bit of a tube on there. Hold that tight, and the splash aerator with fresh water is going hunky-dory. So all in all, super happy. Right, tomorrow we're going to be doing the putting the clay down the front of the gate to stop that flow, which I'll show you at the moment. It's still stayed exactly the same. There's no more increase. It's exactly the same where I put that thing over there to measure. So nothing's actually happened there. So I've still been pretty much stress-free. But obviously as summer approaches, I'd really like to stop that flow. So yeah, we'll go from there. Also added a tube on there, look, a pole, so straightened that out, gets it a bit further out in the lake so I'm not getting all the bank covered, and gives it even better splash and even better aeration and filling, so bloody marvellous. This is a good sign. After the drain down and netting 2 years ago now, 2 winters ago, this whole reed bed here, it used to, this whole section, turn this off, let me go to there. This whole bay here, around here and along there, was all reeds. You know, they came right out to about here, but very soft, very hollow, very lightweight reeds, which was a lovely feature and a lovely area for the fish to go and sit in. And after we drained it down, they literally never grew back, and I thought I'd lost them all. But as you can see, they're starting to make a reappearance, which is a lovely thing and a great feature to have back on the lake, and a nice spawning environment for the fish for next year, because they'll probably be back in abundance then. Fantastic. Well, here we are, Bank Holiday Monday. Worked all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all day Monday. There's no rest for the wicked. Just getting the last few hours out of the machine. We need to fill some beds, so just getting some old earth and rock that we put down here into the back of the buggy to put into this bed that we've got up in Chateau Fens. There we go. It's been a big weekend. I dumped about 2.5 ton of clay down the front of the gate today. It slowed up the flow a little bit on the leak, but not fully. It's enough for me to go with it. I think I'm going to try and get the bung in tomorrow. It's been a bank holiday again, as everywhere, I think. So we couldn't get material to sort out the pole that I'm going to try and put it up there with a bit of a 2x2 or 3x2. So going to get that first thing in the morning, and then and try and fashion a big prodding stick with a bit more stability to push the bung right up to the gate and put that in. But that's it. It's been a busy weekend. I'm cream crackered, and it's starting to get hot this week. The Fensmere fish still, some have spawned, the big ones haven't. So I think it's up into it's up into the 30s this week, and the water's already warm enough. So I think they'll go this week. I hope they do. We've got guests coming in the first week of July, so I'm hoping they go this week, and it gives them a nice bit of rest before people arrive. So there we go. Hope everyone's had a wicked weekend. If you're not already following or subscribed, please do. Helps us massively. And hit the like button for us and all that jazz that these YouTubers say. I've got a bloody clue. All right, catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.